4 years ago, I was told I could never have children. Last Tuesday, I found out that was a lie someone in my own family had been telling me the entire time. I'm 32 years old, and I married into a family that, from the very first year, made it clear that a grandchild was the only thing that would make me truly belong. My husband, Adil, was the only son, and his mother, Shabana, never let a family gathering pass without some comment about grandchildren, timelines, and women my age. After a year of trying with no success, Shabana insisted I see a specific doctor, a family friend she trusted completely. I went, mostly to put the conversation to rest. The doctor ran a series of tests and told me, gently, that the results suggested a low probability of natural conception. Though nothing was entirely conclusive, Shabana was the one who relayed most of the details to me afterward, since she'd accompanied me to that first appointment and insisted on speaking with the doctor privately about family matters while I waited outside. From that day forward, I carried the quiet weight of being the reason my husband might never have children. Every family event became something to endure. Every cousin's pregnancy announcement became something I braced myself for. I convinced myself, slowly, that this was simply my burden to carry. Adil was kind about it, mostly, though even his kindness started to feel like quiet disappointment over the years. We looked into adoption once, tentatively, but Shabana shut the conversation down almost immediately, saying it wasn't the same and that we should keep trying naturally a little longer. I want to be honest about something. There were nights I genuinely grieved a version of motherhood I believed I would never get to have. I built an entire identity around infertility, around being the daughter-in-law who couldn't give the family what they wanted, without ever once questioning the original test results that started it all. 4 years passed this way. Then, this past spring, Shabana asked me to help clear out an old filing cabinet in the guest room while she prepared for a family visit. It was mundane, ordinary work, nothing I thought twice about. Near the bottom of the second drawer, beneath old tax documents, I found a sealed folder with my name and the original doctor's letterhead on it. I opened it without thinking much of it, expecting to find the same results I'd been told about 4 years earlier. Instead, I found the complete, original report, the one I had never actually seen in full, only heard summarized secondhand through Shabana. The actual results showed no significant fertility issues at all. A single, minor hormonal marker was slightly outside normal range, the kind of finding doctors routinely note as something to monitor, not something that prevents pregnancy. The report even included a handwritten note from the doctor recommending a simple follow-up test, one that, as far as I could tell, had never been scheduled. I sat on the floor of that guest room for a long time, reading through 4 years of grief that had apparently been built on a story someone else told me, rather than the truth that had been sitting in a drawer the entire time. I confronted Adil first, showing him the folder before I said a single word to his mother. He looked as stunned as I felt, insisting he genuinely believed what his mother told him, that he'd never seen the original report either. When I finally asked Shabana directly, she didn't deny withholding the full report. Her explanation was almost worse than the deception itself. She said she genuinely believed, based on her own read of the doctor's notes, that gently discouraging me from getting my hopes up was protecting me from disappointment, and that she'd simply never found the right moment to revisit it once 4 years had passed. "You let me believe I couldn't have children for 4 years," I said, "because you decided that was easier than telling me the truth." She didn't have a real answer for that. Adil, to his credit, was furious in a way I hadn't seen from him before, not at me, but at the 4 years we'd both lost grieving something that was never actually true. I'm not telling you this story with a neat bow on it. Adil and I did the follow-up testing recommended in that original report. My results came back completely normal. We're currently exploring our options with a doctor we chose ourselves this time, without anyone else in the room making decisions on our behalf. My relationship with Shabana hasn't fully recovered, and honestly, I don't know if it will. 4 years of grief, of quiet shame at every family gathering, of a version of motherhood I mourned that was never actually lost, is not something I can simply move past because an apology eventually came. If you've ever built years of your life around a story someone else told you, only to find out later it was never entirely true, I hope you get the chance I got to finally see the full picture for yourself. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And subscribe next week. I'm sharing what the follow-up appointment actually revealed.